Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining me here today. My name is Adrienne Bradley, and this is the Daycare Q&A Show, and I am your host. So thanks for joining me here today. Today is April 10th. Sorry, let me turn Alexa off before she starts talking. Today is April 10th, 2024, and this is episode 35 of the Daycare Q&A Show. Okay, so if you are joining me live today, welcome. And if this is your first time, thank you for joining me. Like I said, I just saw a squirrel go by. And if you are coming back, welcome back. We do this every week. This is our weekly show, and I would love it if you would join us weekly when you have time. I know you're super busy, but yeah. And if you are joining me live, please leave me some hearts and likes so I can see you. Sometimes this Facebook dashboard is not Adrienne friendly, and so I have my laptop open over here because sometimes I don't see the comments come in right in front of me, so I try and set up a backup over here to see if I can make sure I catch any comments. So yeah, so if you are joining me live, please leave me some hearts and likes so I can see you. And even if you're catching me on replay, go ahead and leave me a hi in the comments. I would love to come back and say hi to you as well. Let's see, a few housekeeping notes. So if you join me every week, then you know that I'm going to say something about my dogs. So my dogs are behind me. I haven't been putting them outside because they've been okay during the show. They haven't really gone off, but I kind of just like to mention it just in case all of a sudden they bark and you know that they're there because they're going to startle me. So I just thought I'd let you know that too. So if you hear some jingling, that is those are my two dogs. And secondly, I start off the show giving a bit of a disclaimer to say that the things that we discuss here and the opinions and advice that I give are based on my own experience or someone close to me, someone in my network, their experience. But they are my opinions only, and I'm certainly not the only provider in the room. So if you have a different opinion, please chime in. And if something doesn't work for you, doesn't vibe with your business or you, then feel free to leave it. You are running your own business and making your own decisions for what's best for you and your business. So feel free to take what works and leave the rest. It's probably for somebody else. I have to apologize. I don't know why my stomach is grumbling. I just ate, so I don't know why it would be grumbling, so I apologize if you hear it's not something I can control. So anyway, so we're just here to give a different perspective here, so that if you should ever be going through something similar to something that comes up on the show, then maybe you would have a remembrance of this and have a different outlook and maybe be able to manage it better or something like that. So that is the purpose of the Daycare Q&A Show. All right, and third, I just want to remind you, if you are joining me live and if you have a question, please feel free to leave it in or to put it in the comments or the chat here. If you're joining me live, put it in the chat. If you are catching this on replay, go ahead and put any question you might have in the comments. And if you're joining me live, I'll try to come back and answer it during the show. If you're catching this on replay, then when I see it, I will come back in and address it. Okay? All right. And last, in case you have to leave early, remember you can always watch the show replays right here on the channel. I leave it, right here on the Facebook page. I leave it for I leave it until I have time to upload it to our channel over on YouTube, where all of our archives and past shows live. So you can catch the replay here until I'm trying to get caught up with uploading over there, but I'm still working on it. So until then, it will still be here, and you can catch the replay here. Okay. So let's see. By the way, we do have a YouTube channel, so I would love it if you went over there and maybe checked out some of the older episodes, or maybe binge watch all of them. I don't know. We have time for all of that, but and please, if you do, I would really appreciate you leaving either a review or following the channel, giving us a thumbs up. That would be great. It helps us to reach more people, reach more providers with the message that we have here. So I would appreciate it. All right, so let's see what's going on in the Thriving Childcare universe. First, the show is sponsored today by the Rise and Thrive Club. That is our members-only community for childcare providers, and I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, it's sponsored by our membership. And let's see. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you've ever wished for the time to really do a good spring clean. Now, like I said earlier, I know that you're busy. Been there, done that. I know how busy you are. There's no, see, as soon as I said that they were being good, then he wants to bark. Anyway, I know you're super busy, but the type of spring clean I'm talking about is not what you might expect. And even though our homes, I know my home could use a really good spring clean, I am talking about, I guess, an unconventional spring cleaning, but something that we could all really, really benefit from doing. And so I developed a free challenge. It's a 30-day spring cleaning challenge for your childcare business. So, like I said, it's not anything that you would think of when you think of spring cleaning, but this will allow you to, it has days where you organize your email, and then some days you're going to set financial business goals. Another day you're going to create a meal plan for you, not for the kids, for you. And another day you're going to do a paperwork purge. So I don't know, you can probably see some of my desk here, and I certainly need to purge or organize my paperwork better. And there's other days where you do a fitness reset. So there's a lot going on. There's much more to it than even what I just said. So if you'd like to do the free challenge, I will leave a link in the show notes today, and you can go over and sign up for the free challenge and start it today, and use this early spring period to get things a little bit more organized when it comes to your business. So yeah, so go over and check that out. Okay. Okay. So like I was mentioning a few moments ago, we had some very exciting news last week. We were thrilled to share that last week we reopened the Rise and Thrive Club, which is our members-only community for childcare providers. And in the community, you can find resources like courses, webinars, workshops, forums, expert webinars, and a community that you can go to that has your back. That, you know, I love a good rant. I do. I've said this here on the show before that I love a good rant, but to me, a solution trumps a rant. So we can rant all day, but in the end, we really need a solution to whatever it is we're going through. And that can come in a way of a new procedure, a new mindset, or maybe just some support to feel confident in your role as a business owner and a childcare provider. So that is what the Rise and Thrive Club is all about. And I would love it if you would go over and check us out. We would love to have you. We have a full schedule of experts coming in doing webinars this month, next month, every month actually. And I'll be releasing the schedule for this month probably tomorrow. I know it's a little late but we had the whole grand opening and everything. So I'll be releasing the schedule for those trainings. Hi, Phelps. Yvette. I'm sorry. Your name is backwards, so I think it's backwards. It's Yvette. Hi, Yvette. How are you? Thanks for joining me here today. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. So I'm going to jump into some questions here in just a moment, but yeah, I would love it if you would go over and check out the club and join us. All right, so this morning I'm going to talk about a few questions that child care providers have submitted. But before I do that, something that I normally do is to go to our provider planner and organizer. That's the Stripe version behind me. That is our luxury planner just for providers. I have mine here, and I usually go and see what's happening this week that we can either set up a curriculum around or a project or sometimes even a fun meal like a snack or something around. So I'm going to check out and see what's going on this week. So yesterday was National Unicorn Day. I have to tell you, my daughter thinks that I make this stuff up, but you can go look. You can go Google it, check. Yesterday was actually National Unicorn Day. So even though it was yesterday, maybe sometime this week you can find a story that you might have about a unicorn or talk about a unicorn. I know some people might say, well, unicorns weren't really real, so do we want to talk about that? But you make that decision. Maybe you do a project where the kids dress up and look like unicorns. That would be fun. That would be so much fun. Or draw a picture of a unicorn or something. I'm sure the kids have seen unicorns or pictures or images of unicorns. But today, and I just sent this to my kids, today is National Siblings Day. So that is so much fun. So I sent a message to my kids saying Happy Siblings Day. They haven't responded yet. I sent it, but I also sent it to my sister. And so I want you to maybe take advantage of reaching out to your siblings if you have siblings and wish them a happy National Siblings Day. And in your business, if you have siblings at your child care, but even if you don't have the siblings there together, if they have siblings, talk about it. Maybe ask some questions. What is it like to be a big sister? What is it like to be a little brother? Things like that to engage with the children. That would be so much fun. And if you happen to have a book that talks about siblings, even better. But yeah, today is National Siblings Day. I thought that was so much fun. Now no, it's not tomorrow. On the 12th, which would be, what's that, Friday? Today's Wednesday. Yeah, Friday the 12th is National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. So, like I was saying, you might want to think about maybe making grilled cheese for lunch. Maybe make it for snack. I don't know. But it is National Grilled Cheese Day on Friday. So, we're all caught up on what's going on this week. Okay, so let's see. Now let's get into some questions. First off, I usually start off with a question that I asked to you. I asked this on the page, I believe yesterday, but I'm wondering, and if you're here live with me, please chime in, let me know. But do you know, hi Yvette. Okay, so I got it right. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to get it right. So I'm really seriously apologizing because people get my name wrong all the time. And I didn't think it really bothered me because I couldn't understand people that got all upset about that. But the problem is, if you don't correct people, then they continue to say your name wrong. And they actually get it stuck in their head. My husband's aunt pronounces our daughter's name wrong. And it's just because we didn't take the time to say, well, actually, this is how you say it. And so for years now, she's always said it the wrong way. So thank you, Yvette, for letting me know that that is your correct name. Okay, so the question that I asked on the page yesterday was, do you know what imposter syndrome is. I had a discussion with somebody recently, and they thought that the word was, or the phrase was, maybe something that a lot of people didn't understand. And I'm just wondering if you know what imposter syndrome is. So if you're joining me here live, please type it in the comments or in the chat. And if you catch this on replay, type in the comments if you know what imposter syndrome is. I will be talking about that more, because I think a lot of us deal with it, and we try to ignore it, and we don't really address it, and in my view, create, like I said, a solution to overcoming it and managing it and recognizing what triggers us. So Yvette said, I always hear about the term, but I still no longer have a little clue. Well, you know what? I had a friend that said the same thing. Okay. So I was just gauging to see if people knew what it is. But basically, and this is not going to be the Webster's Dictionary definition of it, but imposter syndrome is when you don't feel qualified to either be in the role that you are, or speak about things that you actually are very qualified to speak on. So in other words, I was a child care provider for 22 years. And it's not to say that all of us don't have a tinge of, we don't know everything, is what I'm trying to say. Of course not. But after 22 years, it took for someone else to say to me, lady, you know what you're talking about, okay? Lean into that, accept that, acknowledge that, and be proud of that. It is when you are constantly doubting your ability, your knowledge, your well-earned experience, and you still are not feeling comfortable. I mean, I make a joke when I was talking to that other person. I made a joke that I seriously sometimes would feel that someone was going to jump from behind my sofa and point at me and scream, fraud, you don't know what you're talking about. And that's unreasonable. I mean, if that's seriously, and that was seriously, I could visualize that happening. That is unreasonable. It's unreasonable because I don't know what it is. I don't know who said this, but supposedly after 10,000, I think it's 10,000 hours of doing something, you're considered to be an expert. Okay? So you can imagine after 22 years and all the long days and hours that I have working in my childcare and building my business, that I have that amount of hours for sure, right? So in that respect, it is self-doubt, if I had to put it in one word. Unwarranted self-doubt, okay? Because you do have the experience, you do have the knowledge, and yet and still you still don't feel comfortable with that title or with that role. And so I'm going to be talking about it more, possibly doing a training on that, because I really do think, just like other things that we deal with in our life, we need to find tools and techniques to manage these things and to recognize the triggers so that we can, lean into, like she told me, lean into our expertise and our experience and our credibility and all of that, okay? So I was just asking because I wanted to see, where everybody stood on that. If somebody wanted to share their experience with that, I just shared with you my experience, and I'm being very transparent. That is how I felt sometimes, that somebody was going to point at me and say, you are a fraud. You don't know what you're talking about. And so anyway, so I hope that answered your question, Yvette. But we will be talking about it more. We have a lot of things that we're going to be addressing. Okay, so let's get into some of the questions today that I have from other childcare providers. Again, if you're joining me live or if you're catching this on replay and you have a different opinion, please come into the chat or the comments and state your opinion. I am not the only provider in the room. I just, like I said earlier, I'm pulling from my experience and people that I know. Okay, so it says, hey, Adrienne, I'm at the point where I want to hire an assistant for my childcare. What is the best way to interview candidates? Do you use an application? And what questions should I ask? Okay, well, this is one of those situations, just like most situations, where it is going to be very unique and individual to your business, right? I will say that for my childcare, that process evolved over time, as do most things. I've told you before, my contract evolved, my policies evolved, and that's natural. To make changes where necessary, to make improvements where necessary. So in that hiring process, it evolved over time. Initially, it was just like any other, I would say, the ordinary process. I put up an ad, I would schedule an interview, they would come in for the interview, I would talk to them, do you know this, do you know that? And then I would make a decision, choose the person, and hire them and hope for the best. Over time, I changed this, and this actually is a question that came from a client of mine who is in the process of transitioning to a larger license. So she wants to get an assistant now. So not only will she have time to go through that whole process, because in her state it's a little different than California. I'm in California. Yvette, where are you? Are you here in California with me? Let me know. But anyway, in her state, it's a whole different process and a whole situation. And she feels like if she gets an assistant now, it would free up some of her time to be able to go through that process without stressing and trying to, worry about the business and so forth. So anyway, over time, I decided that when it came to hiring an assistant, it was better for me if they had a working interview, meaning that the interview transformed and it was really a work day, because I felt like somebody can come in and tell me anything. They can say, yes, I did this, I know this, blah, 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 and all the right answers to my questions. But for me, the proof is in the pudding. I would rather show me. Don't tell me, show me. So I would schedule them for a work day. So now the process went like this. I changed it up quite a bit. If they reached out to me, I put up an ad, right? In the ad, I had what I was looking for. So for me, I wanted someone who preferably had some child development units. If they didn't, then had some experience working with young children, because that was the environment they were going to be working in if they were working for me. So I put that in the ad. So if someone would respond to the ad, then I would reach back out to them and I would either have a phone conversation with them or an email, some kind of communication back and forth. And then I would set up an interview, but before the interview, I would send them the application and a few questions, okay? And they needed to bring that with them to the working interview, so that as they were working, so then they would show up for the day, the working interview day. They would work a shift, and when they worked the shift, I would review their information. Now they could probably submit that early to me too, but if they brought it that day, I would review it. And then at the end of the shift, then I would have a conversation with them about what I reviewed, about their performance, and the next step in the process, whether or not I was going to consider them for the role, or whatever. So that to me was a better process for my business. But as I said, every business is unique depending on what the needs are for that position. I would say develop the best process that's going to give you the best person for that role. So what can you do in your process? Because you can do anything. It doesn't have to be like I started with this vanilla process for hiring somebody, like I would be hiring for, I don't know, McDonald's or something. Set up a process that gets you the information that you can use to make the best decision for who will be in that role. Because typically, especially for at-home providers, right, it's going to be maybe one or two people that are in that role that is going to be working very closely with you. So they do need to be the right person. So, excuse me, set up a process that may be a multi-step process, and you can streamline it. I know that sounded like a lot, but when you get used to it, you can, first of all, if it's going to get you the result that you need, whatever the process is, that's what you should do, okay? But once you get used to it, you can set it up to where there's emails where you respond to people, and the questions are attached, the application's attached. You know, you'll get used to it yourself. And then, you know, I've talked here about, let me take a drink of coffee because I'm talking too much, I think. I've talked here about having a comprehensive onboarding process. And I say comprehensive, and that word sounds scary. It sounds like a big, huge deal. But let me just tell you, the better you onboard something, the better the outcome. You set that person up for success. You get the assistant that you need and want, because they know what the job entails. They know what to do. They're not constantly asking you. And believe you me, I've been in those situations, and it was on me. I had to turn it around and realize I had not onboarded this person to get the best result. And it was like I said, it was on me. So, but I hope that answers your question. Yvette, let me know, do you have an assistant, and what's your process? Maybe if you could share your process with us, that would be great too, if you have an assistant. But yeah, like I said, mine evolved over time. It wasn't something that I did right away, or I knew to do right away. But the more you get comfortable in your own business, the more you realize how things can work better. And take the time to make those changes. I was talking earlier about the 30-day challenge. Take the time to make the changes that would help you run your business better. You will benefit from it greatly. And I know how busy you are, and I know personally about needing to make a change but not having the time, and then forgetting, and then it creeps back up on you again, and you realize, dang, I could have made that change and I wouldn't have to deal with this again. A lot of the policies and procedures that I wound up coming up with were related to issues that I needed to make a change in those, you know, the way I handled those situations. So anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. Please let me know if you have another opinion and what you would say to this provider who's asking about a process for her applicants, for her assistant or assistant teacher. All right, next question. I have two fathers who are a gay couple. Okay, how should I approach Mother's Day with them? I've had single dads participate in my Mother's Day events before, or they have sent mother-like figures, but never a family with two dads and no mom. I want to ensure everyone feels included. Any suggestions? So, you know, there can be a lot of situations where there's like an untraditional family structure that you have, families that you have as clients. And so it does get a little, I won't say awkward, but you have to think differently about Mother's events like Mother's Day and Father's Day and so forth. Personally, I would ask them. I would ask my client. I would ask them, how do they celebrate in their family these events, these days? Okay, because you want to be respectful. You want to be respectful not just to them, but also to the child. You don't want to leave them out of these projects or events, or that the other kids are participating in and doing. And it's not just Mother's Day and Father's Day. I said once before here that I had a client who, because of her religious beliefs, did not want to celebrate Halloween. And while I respected that, I told her that we did celebrate it at the childcare. And it was, and she was a bit upset, because I think she thought that because she didn't celebrate it, that we shouldn't celebrate it at the childcare. But I told her that we were. So in that respect, I felt like I should have asked her, well, you have the option of maybe not bringing them that day, because I didn't want to leave them out. All the other children had on costumes and were dressed, and we had a parade, and we had like an event. You know what I mean? And I don't want to leave that child out. So asking your client how they celebrate these events and what they would like to see, or how they would like to participate in the event that you're having at your childcare, I think would be a winner. I think that would be the best way to handle it. But you guys let me know, how would you, oh, you're in South Carolina. You know what? Yvette just said she's in South Carolina. My family lives, well, a large portion of my family lives in North Carolina. So I was visiting back there. My husband and I were visiting back there. And I know it's a whole nother state. You're probably saying, well, that's not South Carolina. But we were visiting back there 2 years ago. My cousin got married, and it's a beautiful part of the country. It was so lush, and even though it rained every day we were there, the rain would clear out, and everything was clean and lush and really nice. And I was talking to my husband about going back there again, probably not this year, but next year for sure, because we do have family there. Thanks for telling me where you're at. So talk to your clients about these events. I mean, if you can think of it, when you have your tours, or I called mine an orientation, where you sit down and you're talking to them before they enroll, ask them then, how do you plan to celebrate this and this? Because in this situation, you've got two specific holidays. Do we call them holidays? Observances. Mother's Day and Father's Day that would apply here. So you need that intel. You need to know how do you plan to celebrate these events, so that we can honor that here. Okay, we don't want to be disrespectful. We want to be respectful. I mean, we have projects for Mother's Day, projects for Father's Day. You know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about it maybe right when they become a client, if you can remember to do that. Okay, if not, and you have the situation, have the courage, step up, be the business owner, be the CEO, and be compassionate, and ask them. Just step up and ask them. That's my advice. Okay, so we have, what? Let's see. The next question is, hi Adrian. Hi. I want to plan an event for Mother's Day, but not just for my clients, for my community. My thought is I could make it an event that could lead to new interest in my program, i.e. new clients. Any ideas? I love that. The big event that I had at my childcare was an Easter egg hunt, right? So, but I mean, I would build it up, right? Like I would be talking about it way before, and it was so much fun. I would invite the parents to come if they, and a lot of them would take off work to be there. They would bring the siblings of the children in my program, and we turned it into a big event. I remember one year I had a family, and the father was an amateur photographer. So he took pictures of the whole event. I mean, it was so much fun. It was exhausting because I was trying to corral the kids and get the parents not to overhelp their kids and let them experience. And it really became fun because my assistant that one year, I think the second year, she suggested, she said, have the parents donate. So the second year, the parents donated everything. They donated the eggs. They donated the things to put in the eggs. I mean, it was just, so that was my big event. But I am big on having events to call attention to your program, to spice things up, to make things more exciting for your clients, but also to let the community in on it and let them know what's going on. Now, you do want to be careful. We have things in society that aren't so great, so we want to make sure that we're being safe doing events that we're going to have outside people coming in, and especially when it comes to your license. So you want to be careful of that. But I'm all about the open house. This Mother's Day event could be something similar to that. Maybe on what day is Mother's Day? Well, Mother's Day is always on Sunday, right? So maybe that Saturday preceding it, you could have a Mother's Day event that is similar to an open house, where you also have information about your program. So you're going to have the Mother's Day event, and whatever you're going to do to be involved in that, whatever's going to happen during that, but also have information about your program, flyers, maybe if you have applications, maybe you'll have a wait list, or an appointment list. Of course, have your business cards. Maybe talk about the program at some point during that day, to give people who aren't in the program more information about it. And if you're concerned about opening this up to the whole community, like I was saying a minute ago, and outside people, maybe ask your clients to refer people that they know to come to this event. So that maybe would feel a little bit more secure, a little bit safer. But yeah, plan it out. We actually have in the shop, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes, we have a binder kit for an open house. But you can use that, like I said, turn this Mother's Day event into an open house type of event as well, or /open house. You know what I mean? And start talking about it now. Put it in your newsletter. Ask for your clients. Maybe ask them for ideas. When people feel involved, then they're more likely to participate, because they want to see, if you use their suggestion and how it came out, and they'll be able to say, oh, I suggested that you do that. So they feel more involved, and we as humans like connection. We've seen that through what we just went through over the past 3 to 4 years, right? We need connection, and at this state we need to reconnect. So doing these things and involving them in planning it, maybe even participating, maybe ask for a volunteer in your client base and see if they'll help you put on the event, help you with the behind the scenes stuff. And some some people will love to help you. I have had clients that just went over and above. If I said we were going to do something, they surprised me. Okay, I mean, I had to start giving out Mother of the Week awards, and it was like tongue in cheek, because some of the moms would be like, well, the one mother, she said, I'm Mother of the Week, and the other ones would be like upset about it, or just, but not seriously upset about it. But they would go all out. If I said we were doing Shark Week, and this is what we were doing for Shark Week, I would have parents that would donate shark decorated cupcakes. You know what I mean? So hold these events. Plan, I would say, I think, and I wrote an article about this. I'll also leave a link to that as well here. But, and let me see, I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Hey, Denitra. She said, sorry I'm late. No worries. No worries at all. Denitra Scott is joining us. I wrote an article about holding childcare events, and I'll come back and I'll link to it here. But I would say, if you can, there's usually some holiday in every quarter, right? If not more than one, excuse me. Try to, especially if you're trying to build your enrollment, try to plan an event once a quarter. If you can't do that, do like me and pick once a year. That Easter egg hunt was my big event once a year. But I became known for it. And you'll become known for your events. And it spices things up. It makes it something that people can anticipate, look forward to. You can look forward to. You can come up with new ideas every year. I know that when I started the child care, I gave out gifts for Christmas to the children, right? Who doesn't do that? Whatever. But over the years, I got more elaborate with it. I didn't have to. Excuse me. Let me get something to drink. I don't know if that was my dog. Okay. I got more elaborate with it. And I did that for me more than anything. I wanted to see their faces light up. So instead of just giving them whatever gift and wrapping it whatever, I got, those big, huge stockings that you see around Christmas? I mean, the big ones, like the 3 foot, I think they're 3 feet. Yeah, they're about 3 feet. And I would get them at the dollar store or whatever. So I would get them and stuff their gift. They were only $1. Okay, so it was no big deal. I would stuff their gift in the bottom, and then I would put tissue paper over it. And then, eventually, okay, I didn't do this in the beginning, but then I would seal it up. I would put it either with some hot glue and seal it, or I would get some Velcro and seal it up. And then I would put a tag on it to say, don't open till Christmas, and I put their name on it. And I tell you what, when the kids would come in and see those big, huge stockings under the tree, man, their faces would light up. And when I handed it to them, because they couldn't mess with it until they were about to go home, it was Christmas. It was like the Christmas break. So that's when I would hand them their stockings, because it was going to be Christmas. They would be so excited, and they hadn't even opened it yet. And I'll tell you what, I even got even more clever. So this was like fun for me, okay? This was really just fun for me. I wound up creating a poem that I put inside of it, and it was basically some homework for them, because the parents needed to take a picture of them opening up the big stocking, and then I would ask the parents to take a picture of the kids, put the kids in the stocking and take a picture. I have so many pictures of kids in big, huge stockings like that. So again, the other thing is during events like that, that's another thing that you can talk about at your tour. That's something that can really you can get engaged with new clients about, that, you're very community based, and, you love holding these events, and I don't know, like summer. Okay, you could have a summer barbecue. You could put a sheet over a wall in your backyard and have a summer movie night. I mean, there's so many different things, and these are marketing. These are sneaky marketing events, because the word will get out. They'll talk about it. Heck, I had parents that would tell their friends, families, and coworkers about the fact that I did digital notes. I mean, this was before, it was a big thing, and a lot of other providers didn't do that. And so I know for a fact that I got some clients just because of that. So, think about these things, especially when you're in a very competitive market. You have a lot of childcares around you. You want to shine. Not to take anything away from them or their program, but you want to be memorable. You want people to feel like your program is special, and it's something that they want to be a part of. And like I said earlier, to connect with. It's people connecting. We're going to go through, I think, years of trying to build those connections back. And just think, if the event that you hold has a small part in that, at least a part in your community with that. Like I said, you'll become known for it. And it'll be so much fun for you. We can get stuck in the day-to-day tasks of running a business, and a childcare business is a whole nother beast, because it can be very rewarding. It can also be very, very taxing, and a lot. And if you can find these things that bring you moments of joy and keep the fire and passion going for your business, for yourself, you'll benefit more than anyone else. So, like I said, that Easter egg, I miss that. I miss the Easter egg hunt. I do, because that was so much fun. I actually am going to be publishing an article, I think towards the end of this month, for a dinosaur Easter egg hunt. Or, excuse me, a dinosaur egg hunt. And that is for Dinosaur Day. So I participated in an event. It was an event through our CCR years ago, and it was at a local park. And it was Annabelle Goodwin Day. I believe that was the name. So they had a lot of vendors that were childcare providers out there. And we were supposed to maybe have some type of project or something. And myself and my assistant had the kids make dinosaur eggs. And it was so much fun. And I love dinosaurs. My grandson loves dinosaurs, or at least he did. He's getting older now. I don't know if he's still into dinosaurs or not. But I took that and I created this dinosaur egg hunt that you can make an event at your childcare. So look out for that post. It'll be in a couple of weeks, but I think that is perfect leading into the summer. It could be maybe right before summer starts or something like that. Maybe if the kids are going away for summer, then that could be an event, a send-off for the summer. But yeah, think about different ways to engage with potential clients, but also with your current clients, and to make things more exciting for yourself as well in your business. So does anybody have any ideas? Denitra, did you hold any events or annual events that you became known for at your childcare? What about you, Yvette? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so I think it's a great idea to have this Mother's Day event, maybe a Mother's Day tea or something like that. and to turn it into an open house kind of event as well. So I will come back and I'll leave a link to that binder kit just in case you want to check that out and get some ideas on how to set that all up, and so that you take advantage of any opportunity to connect with potential clients and to follow up with them, because you can get really busy planning these events, but you want to make sure you don't miss out on an opportunity to reach someone who may want to become a client. Okay. Let's see. So let me see. I think that's the end of our questions today. Remember, you can submit a question before the show, and then I'll answer it on next show. Just go to thrivingchildcare.com/what's your question. That's thrivingchildcare.com/what's your question, and you can leave it there, and I'll have it on next week's show. Let's see. Ladies, did you have anything else? Any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat. So I want to thank Denitra and Yvette for joining me here today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I am going to go finish painting a table, and and I've been working on this table for a month. No, it's more than a month. So I'm going to go finish this table. It's not even for me. It's for my kids. But happy Siblings Day. Remember, reach out to your siblings and say happy National Siblings Day. I'm sure that they don't know that there's such a day, and so that will be funny, and that will be fun. And yeah, have a great rest of the week. I will see you next week. And again, thank you for joining me here. My name is Adrienne Bradley, and I'm the host of the Daycare Q&A Show. And I can't wait to continue this journey with you next week. But until then, keep thriving. I'll see you soon.